This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, January 23rd, 2006, and this is episode number 52 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from MGMstudios.org. On the show today, we have back with us one Len Testa of TouringPlans.com. Welcome, Len.
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
Outstanding.
Nice to be back.
Glad to have you back. And we've also got Len's cronies here, which include Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
Crony, huh? Well, hi, Matt. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome aboard.
Your highway in the sky. Your podcast in the sky.
And our show is never complete with just one Mike. We've also got Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
Hola.
Hey, before we get started, Len, I believe you have a listener challenge.
That's right. I don't know if you mentioned it last week, Matt, but the reason I was out from the last podcast was because I had to take my daughter to a cheerleading event. And it was as glamorous as it sounds, let me tell you. So I have a listener challenge to make up for my absence, and it is this. I'm going to give our listeners a cheer, and they have to tell me what the response is. And the first person to write in with the correct response to this cheer, it's one of those call and refrain type things, I'll buy them something during my Expedition Everest preview next Saturday.
Ooh.
How's that sound? I don't know if it's a t-shirt or a pin or whatever. I'll get you something. I'll send it out. It'll be nice.
Cool.
You'll love it. So here's the cheer, and what I want back is what the proper response to this cheer is. And the cheer is, we've got spirit, yes we do. We've got spirit, how about you? So if you know what the response to that cheer is, send it in to Matt. First correct response, get something from the Everest preview.
I know it.
And of course,
I know it.
You cast members of this
employees
podcast
at www.today.com and their immediate families not eligible.
Spirit. We got spirit. How about is it? I know what it is. Welcome,
right.
welcome, foolish mortals,
bursts.
to the Haunted Mansion. We have spirits. In the Haunted Mansion.
And you can also you can email your answers to that listener challenge at listeners questions at www.today.com. And also, Len, you've become infatuated with a certain Disney World radio site lately.
Yeah, over the last week or so, I started listening to Mouse World Radio more and more, and I gotta say I've become addicted. So I started emailing our own Mike Newell like every 15 minutes. Boy, this is just the best. It was some sort of like a schoolgirl crush on Mouse World Radio. And I actually ended up signing up at it's available at live365.com. I ended up signing up for like a 6-month subscription for like $20 or whatever, just so I could hear all the different podcasts. And I probably listened to like 3 or 4 hours a day. It's really, really well done. I mean, the tracks on there are just so good. So if our listeners haven't yet taken Mouse World Radio out for a spin, definitely try it. There's one public feed, right, Mike?
Yes.
And then there are 5 other private ones, and the audio quality is a little bit better on the ones you have to pay for, obviously, but
that's the way they work it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, thank you. It's the best advertising I ever had.
Thanks. I'm trying to get to if you ever need a public service announcement recorded on Mouse World Radio, let me know.
I may take you guys up on that. Matt's already his voice is on a couple of my streams.
Yeah, amazingly, I didn't hear that before I signed up, so I don't know if Live365 is editing that out or what. Maybe the FCC's getting involved.
Yeah. They got wind of it.
Well,
he wants his royalties, and Matt, that check is in the mail.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, it's really good. I mean, like at between 8 and 9 when you do the Magic Kingdom loop, and then the opening of the Magic Kingdom at 9 a.m. and Illuminations at 9 p.m. every night. That's just fantastic. I was joking with that. Was it Scopa that I got in like at 9:20 one night and heard just the very end of We Go On. And I'm like, where's the rewind button on this?
You got to wait till the next day.
Yeah, got to wait till the next day, exactly.
It's true. I'm hooked at about that Illuminations that track, Mike. I believe is like 68 minutes long. So I know that sometime around 8:30, maybe 8:40, I just steal away from the television. I just sit down and I listen to it every night. It's like I'm hooked. It's like I'm an addict.
Well, thanks,
it's great when you're doing
like
I work on the website, and you know when I'm working on the website, it's good to listen to. But I can imagine if you're planning a trip, it'd be something great just to get you in the mood.
It does work. Yeah. It does definitely get you in the mood. That is for sure.
Excellent. So nice job.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
Well, I guess Mouse World Radio actually might fit into what we're going to be talking about today, because we're giving out today our ideas on how to make the magic last. What we mean by this is everyone is always happy and excited when our trip starts to Walt Disney World. But by the end, we end up being tired, unhappy souls that wish nothing more than to knock over the nearest 6-year-old's ice cream cone. So we're giving out our tips on how to avoid being these unhappy people and come home just as happy as when we got there. So if we can't listen to Mouse World Radio while we're at Walt Disney World, what are some ideas that kind of make the magic last a little bit longer?
If you've got kids, I think the first one is an afternoon nap.
We've got kids, Len. How about adults, too?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've been known to take the occasional nap daily if I could. But, yeah, I mean, there's nothing like an afternoon nap. It does a couple of things. I mean, it gets you out of the sun, typically during the hottest part of the day, and also gets you away from the parks to when they're the most crowded. And so, everyone will come back to the park refreshed and relaxed, and, other people who have stayed there all day are getting ready to leave. I think, number one on the list of what to do to make the pixie dust last is take that afternoon nap. And as well, I think you should take some time off, too.
Time off from the parks in the day, or time off from the parks?
Usually it's hard to go to the parks like 3 straight days. Definitely, especially if you're out late one night, you don't want to have to get up early the next morning. So I like a 2-day on, at least 1 morning off strategy. Like if you're there Monday, Tuesday, in the parks all day, then at least take Wednesday morning off.
That's a good point. Definitely, even if you can get away from the parks for even an hour, it really can recharge your batteries and give you just an hour off your feet can really just make a huge difference in terms of the morale of you and the rest of your group out there.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say that there's a lot of people who go to Disney World and they have the constant desire to document the entire trip, and whether that's videotaping or taking photographs of everything. And inevitably, the regular candid photos are never good enough, so of course we have to stage all the photos. Everyone's standing on every bridge you've ever crossed and every vehicle you've ever sat in. So my advice, if you want to help make the magic last, is perhaps refrain from taking as many photos or videotaping everything. I mean, just save the photos for when you're eating, or opportunities where you're kind of all relaxed anyway, like sitting down somewhere, and kind of go with the flow of the rest of the trip. I mean, it's not necessary to really try to document the whole thing, because it can just, after the 30th photo, it can really start to get annoying.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Matt. It's if you're busy trying to get the perfect photo or a comprehensive documentary like videotape, you're really missing out on the actual experience itself. And don't let the former substitute for the latter there.
Yep, I saw Spectrum Magic last year, and I was all about taking all the photos of all the floats. I took all the photos of all the floats. The parade was over, and then I realized I didn't see the parade.
Yeah.
I just took photos of it, but I didn't actually see it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't have time
Check the camera to see what you just saw, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. The whole bus ride home, I was like, oh, that was a nice float.
Yeah, it was nice. I wish I would remember it.
Yeah, you don't want to spend your whole vacation looking through a viewfinder.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, good way to put that succinctly.
Mike, Scopa, would you recommend also not running on broken legs during a...
Well, I want to tell me about it. Walking through Epcot, especially on a broken leg. I want to touch upon what Len said. I think that there's a certain line, a fine line between what I call commando touring and slug touring of the parks. Commando touring is trying to fit in as much as you can every day, squeezing in every moment, and I think that leads to a disaster. Slug touring is just a little bit too laid back for me. I think that what you need is to find a real comfortable area in between where you get to do the things you want to do, but you're not rushed, so that you can really take it in, absorb it, and make it really sink in as to what you're doing, what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're enjoying. I think that way of approaching the parks, I think, really will help you remember what you really enjoyed. As far as the videos go, as far as as the photographs go. I really think they're necessary, but I also think that you can go overboard. If you want to videotape an event like Spectral Magic or Illuminations, plan on seeing it at least several times, and then say, okay, this time I'm videotaping it, and then later on say, this time I'm going to watch it. But I really think you need to sit back and envision how you're going to go about your trip so that you really can make sure that you really will enjoy it, and if you enjoy it, you'll remember it and make that pixie dust last.
I totally agree with what you said, Mike, especially about the in the beginning about finding a happy medium between commando touring and slug touring, as you aptly called it.
Slug touring, nice.
Yes, very good.
I think the points are with any touring plan, the first 4 or 5 steps. If you get through that in the morning, you should be fine. You can really take off the rest of the day, but I really think it's important to if you want to minimize your waits in line, get those first 4 or 5 attractions out of the way, the Space Mountains, the Dumbos of the world. And then after that, you can really kick back and relax, and then take things easier. But there's really is definitely a compromise there that our listeners have to be aware of. You can't relax your way through Dumbo. There's just no way around it if you want to see it. And what you could do is avoid it, though. I mean, if that's a decent trade-off to maybe consider before you head down to Walt Disney World. Am I willing to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning to be at the park at 8 just to ride Dumbo? That's
right. I'm going to go one step further from what you said, Len, and what Mike originally said, and that's that if you can go during a slower time of the season, then it really feels like there's a weight off your shoulders if you can go and not have to worry about, when you get there and you see that everything, even at the height of the day, is like a 20-minute wait at most. I mean, it's a sigh of relief, and then you can just really just go at your leisure, and it really makes the trip a whole lot easier on you.
Mm.
I have a great example of that. I had some friends, and they may be listening, the Barretts from the United Kingdom, who had gone down there for 2 weeks recently, and the final day of their stay, all 5 of them did, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 6 of them did the half marathon. So that was the end of their trip. They looked forward to that after. They all finished, by the way. No broken bones.
Excellent. I mean, there are a couple of things. If you've got kids and the kids are acting up, there are a couple of strategies that the guide outlines to make sure that the kids have fun too. One of them is, if your kids are in a bad mood and they start yelling or screaming, don't escalate the issue. Somebody has to be the adult, as my wife always tells me when I argue with my daughter. So